wet day, isn't it, here at Carisbrooke Castle? But we wanted to come out anyway and try and do something for you. We have to be a little bit careful with the grass. It's very, very slippery, and our horses run at around about 25-30 miles an hour, and it's very slippery. It's not so much the getting going, it's the stopping that's the problem. So to preserve our horses and our knights, because obviously I do need to use them once more after the rain is gone, yes, we're just going to show you some bits with regards to the joust and the preparations. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the castle you see before you here at Carisbrooke, it hasn't changed that great deal since the 15th century, a time when the joust, or the jousting tournament, was in its prime. Made safer by the introduction of the tilt rail that you see before you there. In centuries prior to this, it was a much more dangerous affair. An open field joust, and knights would face each other with more sharpened spears rather than blunted lances. Knights to me, please. And I'll bring our knights out, so give them a little clap as they come round for adorning their beautiful armour in this weather. They'll all be very rusty, they'll be like this at the end.
Yes, it's going to be quite a job for the squires after this, I think. A lot of scrubbing to go on.
And yes, jousting was made much safer in the 15th century, but it is still a very dangerous sport. And we try and joust in the most authentic way. All the armour that our knights are riding, that you see when they come round, is handmade. And back in medieval period times, they would probably cost them about a year's wages for a harness. We call it a harness, not a suit of armour. And it is custom made like a suit, so it fits them like a glove. I, for example, couldn't fit in the wild man's armour, and neither would I want to. It's rather sweaty in there. And our knights at tournament would face each other against the tilt rail, and there were rules, unlike, like I say, in the 13th century where there were really no rules, and it was outlawed by the church. Banned.
Blends in.
They did not want knights riding. People would die. It was very, very dangerous. And although we now use blunted lances, they can still cause a bit of a problem. When the lances shatter, they can find their way into places that you wouldn't want little pieces of wood. That said, it is the same thing. They run very fast, and the training of our horses takes quite a bit. We'll do a wheel to the right, ladies and gents, please. And it's all about keeping your horse as calm as possible. You kick on a little bit, Chloe. But them having confidence in what you're doing, it's not a natural thing for horses to want to run against each other head to head. It's not a thing they like to do. So it takes a lot of training to train the war horse. And each of the horses you see here mainly are Spanish horses. There are some exceptions, but we find them very agile. They can move very, very quickly, and we'll show some of those maneuvers in a little bit.
Cheer them up.
So, marshals, if you go off in a two, please.
Flag back to cheer them on.
No, but can I have the sword?
And you see now that Sir Dominic has got his knights
This is all that the flag is
in a 4 or 2x2,
It's cheering on your horsey. So
and he's leading there from the back. And it's all about making sure that your horses know what's going on. We don't surprise our horses.
I couldn't just place it on the top either.
And for example, when we take up things like lances,
I often ask, I couldn't ever get
they know what's coming.
Let me have one back. I would split the lid. I know you'd be like, no, we're not allowed.
So this particular horse doesn't like lances that much, so I'm going to try and take one and see what
I don't
happens.
put the lid on properly because it's...
But I don't think it'll be very successful for him. He doesn't like this lance stand. Come on, my boy. Good boy. So as I brought him in there, he's now fairly still. I'm just keeping my leg on him a little bit. Good boy. Steady. Good boy.
Yeah, realise it. One in the middle. Bonnie said.
There you go.
Yeah, I didn't
Good boy.
I could see his mouth moving.
Beautiful. Yes, and Coralito really doesn't like Lancers. He deserves a round of applause for that because he is a martial horse and not a jousting horse, and some horses take to it better than others.
If you put me, you get
We do
this
find the
one.
Spanish horses take to the joust quite well, but there are some that just really don't like it.
You look after them.
But now I have it, he's quite confident. I can see his ears are on me. He sees that I have a lance, and he's waiting to see what I'm likely to do with it. And I think as long as I stay away from that tilt rail,